Hi there, it's Bartholomew Perez, engineer, realtor in California and Florida, author and investor. Before I get started, Pikachu shirt. I love this. This is one of my favorites. It was a birthday present, and here I am because I choose you. Thoughts as a real estate agent and real estate investor, not only for the past year, but leading up to this point, because the last couple of years have been on my California practice, and this year really focusing on my Florida practice. But I do and can support both states, and I've been very fortunate to be able to do so successfully. I think just being able to get started, right? My parents did not own any real estate in the States, and so it was really left up to me to figure out how am I going to do this after graduating from undergrad and having my first salary job versus hourly earnings. How can I make this work with the numbers that I have? Where knowing the numbers was primordial because if you don't have a budget, then I think you're kind of just setting yourself up for failure. You plan to fail, you're destined for failure. And so just being aware. So I was asking a lot of questions to the agents that I was working with, and I just didn't feel like I was being serviced the way I would have liked, where there were inconsistencies in the responses I was receiving. Being an engineer, I had to fact check. Couldn't help myself, so I did. And when I found that the inconsistencies were there, then I took it upon myself to become licensed and be that difference that I wish I had at the time, where I needed a guide, I needed a mentor, I needed a somebody that was looking out for me, and whenever I was asking questions, that they weren't losing their patience with me because I had tons of questions. And so now, as a practicing professional for the last couple of years, I've learned to appreciate the fact that we're gonna have repetitive questions, and because I know that I do it all the time, it's from an understanding standpoint where I want to understand what's going on so I can be able to teach somebody else, and at the same time have them know that this is the best possible outcomes that they have. Granted, as a real estate agent, we're here to service you. So whether it's selling, buying, and investing, having the information so that you can make the best possible decision, that is, I think, the most valuable thing to offer, where communication to go along with that and making sure that whether it's good or bad, you're in the know of what exactly is going on. As a real estate investor, thinking long term, I think having made that first decision, that conscious choice to make a purchase, was essential to bring me to today's world, where my practice in California and Florida, as nurtured as they are, that there's always room for growth. And from an investment standpoint, I think about, okay, how can I make better use of my license? How can I make better use of what I want to achieve for financial independence, financial and freedom, all these elements that make up what my financial plan looks like 5, 10 plus years out. Having turned 31 this year, I think I'm in a good place, and I've been very fortunate because of the mind that I've been given, the tools and skills that I've developed, but at the same time, the community basis, because education is essential to decision making, and we don't know what we don't know. So this year, what I want to do is make a focus on the educational aspect, where I'm making offerings on a bi-weekly basis for California and Florida, on the different perspectives, things like trusts and wills, and having mortgage insurance, what that means from a mortgage insurance professional perspective, homeowners insurance perspective, appraisal perspective, the assessor for tax purposes, when it comes down to it for inspections, because these are things that happen and you really don't become aware until you're in the process. So it's really until you're in escrow. But why then? Not that it's too late, because you'll be aware, but wouldn't you like to know ahead of time and at least know what these things are, what that means, how much it's going to cost you, and knowing that, hey, once you do have to make use of these things, that you are well equipped to make the best possible decision. So Bartholomew Perez here to say that these past couple years have been phenomenal. It's an understatement, but they have been phenomenal. I think between the community, between my mentors, my professors in the real estate industry, when it comes down to it, I could not do this alone. And now building the essence of the team that we're creating with the Fortune Collective, I think it will only get better from here, where community basis is really a strong focus for us. So Bartholomew Perez, electrified with Pikachu and the growth of Bulbasaur singing his song with Jigglypuff. Here I am, bidding you a happy new year and to be continued.